Ladies and gentlemen, success. It's a word we hear so often, yet its meaning feels so elusive. For too long, we've allowed others to dictate what it should look like. A title, a paycheck, a perfectly curated life on social media, these shiny surface level things have been held up as the gold standard. But what if success isn't something you chase, but something you define for yourself? What if it's not about arriving at a destination someone else mapped out for you, but about walking a path that reflects who you truly are? Let's take a moment to think about this. How many dreams have been left behind because they didn't fit the mold of what the world calls success? How many voices have been silenced by the pressure to conform? How often have we measured ourselves against standards that were never meant for us? It's time to stop shrinking to fit into a world that was never designed for our greatness. It's time to stop asking, am I enough? And start declaring, I am more than enough. Defining your own success means stepping outside the box and rewriting the rules. It's about giving yourself permission to imagine a life that feels right, not perfect, not flawless, but right for you. It's about understanding that success isn't something you wear on the outside, it's something you feel on the inside. It's not about the applause of the crowd, it's about the peace you carry when the room falls silent. This journey isn't about defiance for the sake of rebellion, it's about freedom. The freedom to build a life that aligns with your values, your dreams, and your unique gifts. The freedom to say, this is who I am and this is what success looks like for me. That kind of freedom takes courage, it takes faith, it takes a willingness to stand up in a world that often tells you to sit down. But here's the beautiful truth. Every single one of us has that courage inside. It might be buried beneath fear, doubt, or the weight of expectations, but it's there. And once you find it, once you begin to live from that place of authenticity, you'll realize that success was never about chasing something outside yourself. It was about coming home to who you were always meant to be. So today I invite you to let go of the definitions that no longer serve you, to dream beyond the boundaries others have set for you, to see yourself not as a woman trying to keep up, but as a woman who is rewriting the story. Adversity, it's a word that stirs discomfort, yet it's a reality none of us can escape. Life will throw storms your way, and sometimes those storms won't just knock you down, they'll shake you to your core. But let me remind you of something powerful. Storms don't last forever, and even in the darkest nights, there's a strength in you that can outlast them all. Every challenge you faced, every setback that tried to break you has a purpose. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you rise in response. You see, challenges are not roadblocks, they're opportunities in disguise. They're invitations to grow, to stretch beyond what you thought was possible, and to discover strength you never knew you had. Think about the times in your life when you were pushed to your limit. Maybe it was heartbreak, maybe it was failure, maybe it was the weight of carrying more than you thought you could bear. In those moments, it felt like the end of the road. But look at you now, you're still here, you're still standing, and you're not the same person you were before. You're stronger, wiser, and more resilient because you faced those challenges head on. Adversity teaches us lessons that comfort never could. It strips away the illusions, the excuses, and the distractions, leaving us face to face with our true selves. And in those moments, we learn that our strength doesn't come from avoiding challenges, but from enduring them. We learn to trust ourselves, to dig deep, and to find solutions when it feels like all the doors are closing. That's where the magic happens, not in the absence of struggle, but in the triumph over it. But let's be real, the process isn't pretty, it's messy, painful, and sometimes you'll feel like giving up. And that's okay. Feel the pain, but don't stay there. Cry if you need to, but then dry your tears and take one more step. Because every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the breakthrough waiting on the other side of the struggle. Adversity is not the enemy, it's the forge where your character is shaped. Every failure you endure is a lesson. Every no you hear is a redirection. Every fall is a chance to rise with more strength and determination than before. You can't control the challenges that come your way, but you can control how you respond to them. And when you respond with courage, perseverance, and faith, you transform those challenges into stepping stones on your path to success. So the next time life knocks you down, remember this: you were made to rise, you were built to overcome. And every challenge you face is proof that you're capable of so much more than you imagine. Embrace the struggle, because it's not just shaping your journey, it's shaping you. Expectations, those invisible chains that bind us, the silent whispers that tell us who we should be, what we should do, and how we should live, they come from everywhere: family, society, tradition, culture. They're often well-meaning, wrapped in love or concern, but they can weigh us down, squeezing the air out of our dreams and suffocating the very essence of who we are. Today, I want you to know this: you don't have to live under those chains anymore. How many times have you silenced your own desires because you were afraid of disappointing someone else? How often have you molded yourself to fit a version of success that wasn't even yours to begin with? Let me tell you something powerful. You were not created to meet everyone's expectations. You were created to walk your own unique path, to write your own story, to live a life that feels true to you. Breaking free from expectations isn't easy. It's uncomfortable, and sometimes it's lonely. It requires saying no when the world demands a yes. It requires standing firm when others try to push you back into their mold. It requires the courage to look someone you care about in the eyes and say, I love you, but I can't live your dream for me. And that kind of bravery, it shakes the ground beneath you, but it also sets you free. When you free yourself from the weight of others' expectations, you step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You discover a version of yourself that isn't tethered to the approval of others. You stop living for applause and start living for purpose. You stop shrinking to fit into spaces you've outgrown and start expanding into the woman you've always been destined to become. But let's be clear, breaking free isn't about abandoning everything or everyone. It's about aligning your life with your values, your passions, and your truth. It's about looking at the expectations placed upon you and asking, does this serve me? Does this bring me joy? Does this align with the vision I have for my life? If the answer is no, then you have the right and the responsibility to let it go. When you begin to live on your own terms, something incredible happens. The world doesn't fall apart as you feared. In fact, it starts to open up in ways you never imagined. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with the real you, not the version you pretended to be, but the authentic, unapologetic, beautifully unique you. And that's when life begins to feel lighter, freer, and infinitely more fulfilling. So I dare you today to break the rules, the ones that were never meant for you. Challenge the traditions that don't align with your truth. Redefine what success, happiness, and fulfillment look like for you. Because the moment you stop living for others' expectations is the moment you start living for yourself. And that's not just freedom, it's power setting boundaries. It's a phrase we hear so often, but let's be real, how many of us actually do it? How many of us draw those lines in the sand and stand firm, even when the tide of demands and expectations threatens to wash them away? It's not easy, but let me tell you this: boundaries are not walls meant to keep people out. They're bridges meant to preserve your peace while still allowing connection. They're declarations of your self-worth, reminders to yourself and others that your time, energy, and heart are valuable and deserve protection. For too long, many of us have been taught that saying yes to everything and everyone is the mark of a good person. We've been conditioned to believe that selflessness means sacrificing our own needs until there's nothing left to give. But let me ask you, what good is pouring yourself out for others if your own cup is empty? What good is giving your best when you have nothing left for yourself? Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's how you protect your joy, your health, your spirit, and your ability to show up for the people and things that truly matter. Boundaries are about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less. They're about understanding that you don't have to overextend yourself to prove your value. You don't have to say yes just because you're afraid of disappointing someone. You don't have to accept treatment that doesn't honor who you are. And when you start setting those boundaries, something incredible happens. You begin to feel lighter. You begin to reclaim parts of yourself that you gave away. You begin to realize that your worth isn't tied to how much you can do for others, but to the simple fact that you are enough just as you are. But let's be honest, setting boundaries can be hard. It can feel uncomfortable. It might upset people who are used to you always saying yes. It might challenge relationships that rely on you giving more than you receive. And yet the discomfort is worth it, because every time you set a boundary, you send a message to yourself: I matter. My needs matter. My peace matters in that message. It's a game changer. When you prioritize your self-worth, you stop chasing approval from others and start living in alignment with your own values. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who don't see your value, and you begin to attract those who respect and honor you. You stop feeling drained and start feeling empowered. Boundaries are not about keeping people at a distance. They're about creating a space where love, respect, and understanding can thrive. So say no when you need to. Take the time to rest, recharge, and care for your own soul. Protect your time like it's the most precious gift, because it is. And remember this: you are not here to please everyone. You are here to live fully, boldly, and authentically. Boundaries aren't just about protecting yourself. They're about creating a life that reflects the love and respect you deserve. And that is where true freedom begins. Self-belief is a quiet, unshakable force. It doesn't demand attention or seek validation. It simply is. It's the whisper in your soul that says, I can even when the world around you screams you can't. It's the seed planted deep inside that, when nurtured, grows into a mighty tree that stands tall in the face of every storm. But here's the thing: self-belief doesn't come naturally to everyone. Many of us have been taught to doubt ourselves, to seek approval from others, to play small so we don't stand out. And yet self-belief is the foundation upon which every great achievement is built. Believing in yourself doesn't mean you'll never feel fear or doubt. Those feelings will come. They're part of being human. But self-belief is what allows you to move forward despite them. It's what gives you the courage to say, I may not have all the answers, but I trust myself enough to figure it out. It's what gives you the strength to take that first step, even when you can't see the whole path. The world will try to shake your confidence. People will question your abilities, your dreams, and your worth. But let me tell you this: the opinions of others do not define you. Your value is not up for debate. The power of self-belief comes from within, and it's something no one can take from you unless you let them. So stop waiting for someone else to believe in you. Stop waiting for permission. The only person who needs to believe in you is you. When you believe in yourself, you unlock a strength that can't be measured. You start to see possibilities where others see obstacles. You begin to rise above the noise of doubt and fear, charting your own course with determination and clarity. Self-belief doesn't guarantee that you'll never fail, but it does guarantee that you'll get back up every single time you fall. It's what allows you to keep going when the road gets tough, when the results don't come immediately, when the weight of the journey feels too heavy to bear. Belief in yourself is like a muscle. It grows stronger the more you use it. Every time you choose to trust yourself, every time you step out in faith, every time you pursue a goal despite the odds, you're reinforcing that muscle. And over time, what once felt impossible starts to feel inevitable. You begin to realize that you are capable of so much more than you ever imagined. But let me tell you something even more powerful. Your self-belief doesn't just change your life, it inspires others. When you show up with confidence, when you pursue your dreams boldly, when you stand firm in your worth, you become a beacon of possibility for those around you. Your courage gives others permission to believe in themselves too. And that ripple effect, it's how movements start, how communities grow, how the world changes. So dare to believe in yourself, not because you're perfect, but because you're worthy. Not because you have all the answers, but because you have the strength to find them. And not because the road will be easy, but because you are resilient enough to walk it. The power of self-belief is already within you. All you have to do is claim it. And when you do, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Change, it's a word that can spark excitement for some and fear for others. But evolution, the kind of change that reshapes who you are at your core, requires something much deeper: courage. The courage to evolve isn't about chasing after something new just for the sake of it. It's about growing into the person you were always meant to be, even when that growth feels uncertain or uncomfortable. Think about a butterfly. It doesn't begin its life in the beauty and freedom of flight. It starts in the confines of a cocoon, a place that feels safe but is ultimately limited. The transformation from caterpillar to butterfly is messy, hidden, and uncomfortable, but it's also necessary. The same is true for us. To evolve, we have to let go of what is comfortable and familiar. We have to leave behind the old versions of ourselves, the ones that played it safe, the ones that doubted, the ones that settled. And that takes courage. Evolving means admitting that you're not the same person you were last year, last month, or even yesterday. It means acknowledging that your goals, your dreams, and your priorities may have shifted, and that's okay. Growth doesn't mean you were wrong before. It means you're brave enough to embrace the truth of who you are becoming. It's about stepping into a new season of your life, even if that means leaving behind people, places, or habits that no longer serve you. But let me be real with you, evolution isn't easy. It demands sacrifice. It requires faith. It forces you to face the unknown and step outside your comfort zone. There will be moments when you're tempted to turn back, to settle for the safety of who you were instead of risking who you could become. And in those moments, you must remind yourself that you are not bound by your past. You are not defined by the mistakes you've made or the opportunities you've missed. You are defined by your willingness to grow, to learn, and to rise. And the courage to evolve is about trusting the process, even when you can't see the outcome. It's about understanding that transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it's rarely a straight line. There will be setbacks and detours, moments of doubt and fear. But every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to the person you are meant to be. And when you look back, you'll see that even the hard moments, even the times when As we come to the end of this message, I want to leave you with this truth: your life is your own. No one else can walk your path, carry your dreams, or define your success. You are a woman of limitless potential, capable of breaking free from expectations, rising above adversity, and evolving into the person you were destined to become. The journey won't always be easy. There will be challenges that test your strength, moments of doubt that make you question your worth, and transitions that feel uncertain. But through it all, remember this: you are not here to live a life that pleases others. You are here to live a life that honors the unique gifts, values, and purpose within you. Believe in yourself, set the boundaries that protect your peace, and step boldly into your evolution. Trust that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Trust that every risk taken in faith will lead to growth. Trust that every moment you choose to live authentically, you inspire others to do the same. So go ahead, define your success, live your truth, and embrace the woman you are becoming. The world doesn't need you to fit in, it needs you to rise up, stand out, and shine. This is your time, your journey, your story. And it's going to be beautiful.